Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, welcome all. Hi. This is a shifting video. You might hear some noises in the background. You might hear some insanely happy laughter. I am going to jump right into what happened, but before I do, I just want to say that I've been to My Hero Academia probably about 3 or 4 times since we last spoke. A lot of traumatic things happened at some point, and so I figured it was fair to like share it with you guys and not keep it from you, since you've been following me and since you've been like supporting me all this time, and I have someone to actually talk to. Like, I figured I would just, you know what, today I'll talk about it. It's not terrible, but it's pretty bad. As long as you guys promise not to tell the guys, okay? Don't tell Toshinori or Keiko what happened to me, because they will literally lose their shit. I'm gonna start off by saying like that my Discord channel is officially, oh my god, my hair. I should have used bobby pins to hold that in place. It just keeps getting in my mouth. Oh yes, my Discord channel is officially DEE dead. And so I have the notion to raise it back from the dead, like a zombie. I'm thinking of hosting a tea party. I might start doing that, and I might start getting some of my friends to join in on it. I might, you know, hook up with Let's Talk Anime and see if he can join in on like the fun. Maybe some of my cosplay friends can jump in, and maybe I'll do like prizes, big time prizes, to where you can win like trips out of town and, you know, hotel suites, that sort of thing, because I like to give out good prizes. I might also do like a trivia or something and do like karaoke. So I'm thinking I might do it for I might do a test run Saturday just to see like how it works, and see if you know, how many people I can get invited, and see who wants to join and participate in that sort of thing. Did I tell you guys that you might hear some insanely happy laughter? Probably. You probably will. So I'm gonna jump into what happened. Like I said, do not tell Toshinori and Keiko what happened, because they will freaking rip me a new one, I'm pretty sure. And I don't mean it in a way that's, by the way, this video is going to be uncensored. I'm not censoring anything. I'll be explaining everything in complete detail, so stay tuned. Also, go get your favorite snacks and drinks, whatever helps you sit through the video, because this is going to be a really cringy video. And this video is also going to be different because this is not your typical video. And you know, I do have my wine here, even though I said that. I probably won't be really drinking any. It's just here for support and comfort. I can just stare at it. And I also have my support buddy, but he's way over there. Damn it, he's way over there. I can't even hug him while I'm talking to you guys, because I put him over there. Like, seriously, it's like way over there. Anyway, I'll jump into what happened. Like I said, don't judge me, okay? For those of you out there who are parents, you might understand a little better like where I'm coming from here and why I did what I did. So I have been lying to them the whole time. Like, I've been lying to Toshinori and Keiko the whole time, just about like Frodo, and thank God Frodo can't talk. So I went back to My Hero Academia, and this is Valentine's Day. I figure I'll tell you something about this, because I feel like this is the happy part. I'm going to share this with you first, and then I'll tell you what led up from there, all the stuff that happened. So Keiko said he had a surprise for me, and I was pretty excited. Then I showed up at his door, and it was already unlocked, and I was like, Keiko, hello. And I pushed the door, and the door like kind of like slowly opened, and there were like rose petals, and the rose petals were leading all the way to the table. And at the table there was a bottle of wine, a glass, and it didn't have anything poured in it yet, and the table wasn't set. It was just basically like a table set up for like me and him. And then I noticed the baby chair was there, but it was like, wait, it was like pushed back from the table. And the thing is, I said I wanted to spend Valentine's Day with Frodo. I specifically said that I didn't want to spend it with anyone but him. But for some reason, I guess Kago had other plans. So I'm like, oh, I guess Frodo is not here then. So I walk on in and I sit down at the table and I hear the door creep open a little bit and pitter patter, little feet running toward me. And I go, Frodo? And Frodo is dressed up in this little suit, adorable. Okay, so it wasn't like a regular suit. It was a onesie and it had like, so this part was like a tie. It was like, how do I explain it? It had like the suit and tie look to it, but it was like a baby onesie. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like that here, so I don't think they have that, but it was so cute. And he was running up and he was holding a rose in his hand. And I go, oh, Frodo. It was just like, it was like the happiest feeling in the world. I'm like, oh, Frodo. I pick him up and everything. I hug him and I'm like kissing on him and stuff. And he's like, Mama. And I was like, thank you, Frodo. Thank you. And so like I'm sitting with him on my lap. He's laughing. He's holding the rose. And Kago walks in. Guys, he had no shirt on. He just had on a pair of slacks. So basically, it was like a dream. Like, he had on the tie. He just had that on, with no shirt on. And he wasn't wearing like shoes or anything. He walked in and he said, hey, cotton candy though, I've been waiting for you. He said, you look so sexy today. I was like, thank you. And Frodo was sitting here and I'm just like, well, we have Frodo. And I'm like, thank you for the rose, Frodo. And he's still holding on to the rose. I'm like, thank you. I'm trying to like take it from him and he's still holding on to it and he's laughing. And so like finally I like kind of like screw it out of his hands a little bit, and out of nowhere a rose just falls and hits me on the head. And I'm like, this is another one of your little surprises. I'm like, Kago, you're so full of surprises today. And he's like, that wasn't me. And then another one falls, and then another one. And I look closely at them, and these roses have thorns. The ones that Frodo had didn't have, the one Frodo gave me didn't have any thorns on it. And I go, Kago, where is this? And he's like, I don't know. And so now a bunch of roses are like falling from just nowhere with thorns on them. So I grab Frodo, I'm holding Frodo in my arms like this. And I'm like, Frodo, are you doing this? And obviously he is, because you guys know his quirk is like, makes extra something, I don't know. So Kago like covers up with his wings and until it like stops. And so now they're everywhere, they're all over the floor. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna put Frodo to bed. And I say, good night, Frodo. And he's like this, waving at me. I'm like, bye, baby. So he puts him in the other room. And so like, he's sitting down on top of the table and he's like, I was like, there's no dinner. And he's like, that's because you're dinner. So then he like lays me across the table and we're making out, and I'm just like, we're on top of the table and I'm just like, you know, Frodo is in the other room and he's like, Frodo is fast asleep. And I'm like, Frodo just went in there, I don't think he's sleeping. And he's like, Frodo is fast asleep. So then like he's groping me and I don't even remember what the heck I had on. It wasn't what I was intending to wear. So I had a white dress because I wanted to look nice, but it wasn't white when I got there. So then we were making out and everything on the table, and then we rolled off the table, we fell on the floor, and then of course he like pulled me to him and his hand was like next to my head. He was like holding himself up, and then he started like kissing my neck and he started like sucking on my ears and on my neck, and I was like, please don't make a hickey on my neck, because if you do then everybody will be able to see it and I won't be able to tell them where it came from or anything. And he's like, I'll give you one somewhere else then. So then he moved lower and he's like, playing with me, and then his mouth went there and he's like licking and stuff, and you know, I had an orgasm, and then he like picked me up, and I was just like, I started like undoing his pants, and we get past the hallway and he stops and he's like, hold on a second, and he goes into where the room is, and he like tosses me onto the bed. So I'm like, whoa. I kind of like fall on the bed with like my hands to my side, and I hear him go into Frodo's room, and I'm like, okay, so I guess Frodo wasn't actually sleeping, he just went to go check on him or whatever. So he comes back out of the room and he's like, our darling child is not asleep, just so you know. And I'm like, oh, well, that means we can't do it. He goes, no, that means you have to be very quiet tonight. And he's like, how would you do that? I'm like, I'll be able to be quiet. He goes, I don't know. I'm like, Frodo doesn't know what we're doing. He's like, you don't know what Frodo knows. Frodo is very smart. I said, I know. But I don't think Frodo understands, because Frodo is still in the toddler little baby phase. Like, Frodo is just like a regular baby. He will eat things off the floor. He will put things in his mouth. He will literally touch and mess with everything, because I guess that's what baby does. But I don't know if that's because he's trying to figure out what it is, or if it's just the baby behavior. And I'm thinking it's just the baby behavior. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So he like presses my leg up against his stomach, and he's like pressure point, and he starts playing with my feet, and I'm like, and then he moves his hands up my leg, and he's like biting and teasing at my thighs, and then he takes off my dress, like the top part, and it's like, so like it exposes me completely, and I'm just like, I think that's the first time ever that he really like, that I actually felt kind of like exposed a little bit, like, okay, like I almost wanted to like cover my hands over it, but I didn't. I was like, I kind of just like stood there, my hands down, I was just like holding my hands, and he's like, what are you so nervous about? And I was like, nothing. I was like, I love you. And he's like, say it again. I was like, I love you. So then he like penetrated me, and then he was like pounding me, and then there was like a rhythm, and then I was like riding him, and then he flipped me over, and we were doing like doggy, and he was like spanking me, and then he was like pinching and like biting at like I told you it was gonna be uncensored, okay? Anyway, when he got done, he finally moaned like, ugh. It was and then he came. Sorry. All right. Okay. So, oh, I'm blushing a little bit. Great. This is embarrassing. So then he after he like came, it was like a lot. It was like so much of it everywhere, and I was just like, I basically got doused like with love milk. So yeah, it was like everywhere. So then after I cleaned up, he was like, are you gonna stay tonight? I was like, yeah, I'll just stay tonight here with you. And I fell asleep in his arms, and I woke up and my guide was like standing there, and I was like, hi. And my guide doesn't talk. He just like put his hand out, and I grabbed his hand, and he like pulled me back here, and I remembered that. The whole day. Okay, so the whole day, like I was like on cloud 9 when I went to work. I was so freaking happy, and I knew it was because I had the love milk, because that is your treatment for like depression and everything else. And just you don't even have to be depressed, it just makes you happy, because, and like I said, it doesn't have any of that negative stuff that'll like harm your body, you know. Not man-made, but comes from men. Perfect. Love milk. Anyway, so then like I was excited over what happened, so I decided to go back. And so like Wednesday was completely different, guys. Yes, I can talk about this because I can share it with you guys. I'm gonna share it. So I went back to My Hero Academia, and I knew that I had to pick up Endeavor from, not Endeavor, I had to pick up Frodo from Endeavor. And so I went and grabbed him, and I put Frodo in the stroller because we were going to go to the park. And my ideal day with Frodo was, because I didn't get to spend Valentine's Day with him, which was Monday. So this is Wednesday, okay guys? I would just take him for a stroll around the park. And the reason I decided to put him in a stroller instead of carry him, so that Frodo doesn't, you know, eat anything off the ground or have other kids trying to give him things off the ground, like a pacifier that came out of their mouth or something. So yeah, because I don't know how much harm Frodo can do with his, I don't think he can harm. He can't really do any harm to me, and he can't really do any harm to Kago. Like, we can't really get infected from him. We can get killed, but I haven't tested it out. You know, if Frodo decides to like bite me, can I become infected that way? I have no idea. And go to more details. All right, so Frodo and I are taking a stroll through the park, and I noticed that doctor that always, you know, the one that always talks about Frodo, the one who's always basically his pediatrician. I don't want to call him Frodo's pediatrician, but he kind of is. So I was watching him, and he was talking with Toshinori, and then as I got closer, it ended up being Kago on the other side of him. He was talking to him about what happened to Frodo and what they should do about it. And he was saying he had a hideout. He knew where the villains or whatever was hiding in at. You know, the villains came to get Frodo, and so we want to pick a moment when we think is right. Not anytime soon though. Maybe some months from now, to try and, you know, figure out what their plan was. And so like, they didn't see me, and they didn't know I was going to the park. I don't tell them where I'm going when I take Frodo. So I was pushing him past them, and I kind of hid like behind the bushes. And the thing is, if Frodo hears their voice, like if he hears Kago's voice, he doesn't, you know, yell daddy or dada or nothing. He's just quiet. He'll listen. And I don't think he understands, but he'll listen. So sorry guys. I still have this cough. It's not the Rona, okay? Ever since I was talking about what happened last time, I can't like calm down from it. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm listening to their conversation, and I'm really quiet because I hear that their hideout is nearby in a secret building. And the problem with the building is that it's restricted, so nobody can enter. And whenever you have a villain and they hide inside of a restricted building, that sounds a restricted building. That sounds completely normal to me. It doesn't sound like anything different or anything special. It's Jeez, what's wrong with me? I can't stop coughing. There's nothing special about a restricted building. It just means you can't enter. And so they were saying like they needed a special code to get in, and they didn't know the code, and this, that, and the third. And so I'm listening like this. I'm just like, and I'm still kind of mad over what happened with Frodo. So I decide I'm going to go to the hideout, and I'm going to take Frodo with me, and, you know, I'll see exactly where this place is. That way I'll know, just in case anything happens, like in case I need to go there for anything. And, which is, I might have to pause the video, guys. It's just so, Oh my god, stop coughing, please. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. Do I need like a cough drop or something? I don't think so. Anyway. Am I like done? Is it over? Jeez. I can like barely talk to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like a tickle in my throat or something. I probably remembered like I don't know what it is. It activated something like talking about the love milk. You know, I did swallow some, so I did drink a little bit before, but that was just a foreplay thing. Like, I did tell you guys I was going to say everything, but sometimes I like to keep going because I want to tell you guys what happened. Choking on love milk. Okay. Am I done? Yes, please be done. Anyway. Dumb idea. Don't ever do something like this on your own. Like, if someone tells you they think there's like a bad guy or an enemy, don't go and try and see for yourself like I did, like an idiot, and take your baby with you. So I made sure they didn't actually see me. I'm surprised no one did see me because I guess they really weren't looking around or paying attention. And so I took Frodo to the abandoned building. It wasn't dark. It was not, it didn't look like it was restricted or sealed off like anything he told me. It just looked like a regular, normal building. And the weird thing is people were actually going inside of the building. Jeez. Oh God, what is happening here? Stop. Am I done? Okay. I'm so annoyed right now with this, with coughing. I just want to tell you guys what happened. So I get inside of the building and it's a regular building. There's someone sitting at the desk, and so the building has windows in it, and I'm just like, I don't understand what the heck is special about this building. And I go, well, maybe it's the wrong one. Maybe they gave me the wrong information, and I'll try and find it later. So I leave out. I'm pushing Frodo in his stroller, and I almost get back to where the park area is, and I hear someone say, "Cotton candy doll." And it had like a deep voice. So I turned around. I turned around. Oh my God. Am I gonna have to... Hold on, guys. I need to pause the video. I'm sorry. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. For some weird reason, I could not stop coughing, and I can't promise you that I'm not gonna cough. I had to go and get myself some hot water and lemon with honey to make it like kind of simmer down. I guess I got too excited. So, where was I anyway? Did I tell you guys? Yes, I walked into the building, and then I basically just walked back out with Frodo. And I'm heading out, and I hear Cotton Candy Doll. And I stopped because I'm like, the voice sounds a little bit familiar, but at the same time, it's kind of like a low, deep voice. So I'm like, I stopped. I kind of like froze. Because I don't know what it was. It was something about the actual voice that was kind of like, I could feel like a bad, I could feel like a bad vibe coming from it. So, and then they go, "Glad you decided to join us." And I barely like had time to turn around all the way, and he like popped up in front of me, and like the next thing I knew, like I was seeing like stars, I guess. Yeah, I basically got knocked out. And so like I remember everything being kind of blurry, and I remember Frodo like crying, and I guess I like blacked out afterwards. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough again. Please. I don't know what's going on with me today. That's so weird, right? This happens to me once in a while. I think I have like seasonal asthma or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I wake up and I'm in this room and it basically looks like, it kind of looks like a bunker, okay? The walls are like solid iron and it's like gray. And I look around and the first thing I think is, oh my God, Frodo. And so like, there's a glass, so in front of me there is a glass, so there's a window so I can see out there. So I was in like the enemy hideout and I noticed it was I saw overhaul in there and I saw twice. And so twice like knocked on the window and like waved at me. And I was just like staring at him and then like he stuck his middle finger up at me. And then I was like, okay, so hi and then fuck you, I guess, whatever. I heard he's like two different people or something. And then the other guy was Overhaul. And so like Overhaul like took off his mask thingy or whatever. And he's like, so he's like, you're the one with the special child. And I'm like, I'm the one with my baby, yeah. And he's like, I have a special request for you. And I was like, what is it? Because putting me in this weird cage structure doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Like, I don't think I would want to do anybody favors who does stuff like this to me, who does something like this. Something along the lines of that. And he's like, no, you're gonna give me another baby. And I was like, I don't understand what you want. And he's like, we want another baby like Frodo. I'm like, you want another baby that looks just like my baby, or like at the same time he's telling me this but I'm not really comprehending it, but I'm also kind of like pretending to be dumb too, because he can't possibly be saying he wants another Frodo, because that's like impossible. Like, he doesn't even know how the kid got there to begin with, so it's kind of like, I am not going to explain this to someone again. I'm not doing it for like a third or fourth time. I just can't. He's like, we need another biohazard baby, so you are going to breed, we're going to breed you with Twice. And you and Twice are going to have this baby, and we'll have a biohazard baby on our team. And he's like, imagine what we could do with that power. The world. And I'm just like, listen, this is not any way to get what you want. I said, first off, I don't have to do anything. And he's like, yes, you do. You have to do whatever I tell you. Otherwise, you will never see him again. And I'm like, you'll never see him who? And they're like, him. I'm like, there's a lot of hims. There's Toshinori, there's Keigo. And they go, the baby thing. I'm like, oh, my son. I'll never see my son again. Why don't you just say that then? Everyone's so weird. So he's like, if you give us a baby, then we'll let you see Frodo. I was like, how about you let me see Frodo now and I'll be more cooperative? Or I might have to kill you. And so like, I got up and I made my big huge, like, my big ball of like light, and I reached in there and I grabbed out my spear. And so now I'm twirling my spear around and I'm just like, and I take one, so I hit it against the ground so they could see, like, because I don't think they take me really seriously. I don't think they took me seriously. Sorry, one sec. Sorry guys. It's probably wiped off like most of my lipstick or whatever. That's awesome. That is so great. That's exactly what I wanted, to be coughing in the middle of my video. I apologize guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with me. So I hit my staff against the the concrete ground, and it literally broke. And their look on their faces was like, oh my god, she's going to kill us. And so like, I'm like, You need to do what I say. Let me see Frodo. And so Overhaul looks at Twice. He's like, you heard her. Let her see Frodo. And he's like, okay. So he's like, behold, Frodo. And he does this. And so like they project the screen on the wall. Because like the wall outside of the little dungeon thing, wherever they have me in, was like white. It looked like Frodo, but it did not look like him. Like it looked like a Photoshop picture of Frodo. Because Frodo just had this big smile. And all his teeth were, you know, pointy. And I'm looking at it, I'm just like, Frodo does not show all his teeth. He has nummy gums. And then they make the picture go away. They're like, if you ever want to see him again. I'm like, where is he? I want to physically see him. Bring him to me. And so, like, I couldn't hear Frodo or anything like that. So I just left that alone. I said, fine. If you're not going to show him to me, then I'm going to break out of here and go find him. And they said, you can't do that because it's a reinforced glass. And I said, watch me. So I took my spear and I hit the glass. And the glass cracked. And so Overhaul was standing there, like, with his hands, like, he was like this. Like, basically his arms were, like, folded. He was just staring at me the whole time. So I'm hitting the glass repeatedly, over and over again. It's cracking more and more. But the only thing that seems to be happening is this glass just seems to, you know, it seems to be just like cracking the whole time. It's not getting any bigger. It's not breaking. So I start to panic and I'm like, okay. So I put it away and I'm like, and I look around and, you know, I look around and I notice like, I did just literally destroy this place. So everything's like kind of a pile of rubble in front of me except for this glass. And the walls are still kind of intact. It's just the floor is all like messed up and everything. And so then he's like, I know what I can do. And he takes out this yo-yo. And it's blue and it's glowing and it has like white light around it and it's shining and it's sparkly. And he's like, look at it. And I'm looking at this yo-yo and he's moving it like this. And all I know is I followed it and I woke up and I was like under the bed. I was under the bed and I'm like, okay. So I climbed from under there and so Twice was like sitting on the bed and he's like, I've been waiting for you. And I was like, why? He's like, so that we can make our baby. I'm like, no, I'm not making a baby with you. He's like, come on, let's make a baby. He's a great idea. And I'm like, okay, no. So it's so freaking weird. It's like talking to him is like talking to, it's like talking to like an advertisement or something. It's so weird. So he wasn't like trying to be like forceful with me, but they were trying to like convince me of why I should have a baby with him basically. And I couldn't, and the thing that like I was really worried about was I could not find Frodo. So I heard like knocking or whatever and they're like, are you done? And I was like, tell them yes, tell them that you're done here. And he was just standing there. So then I decided, you know what, even though we're 5 feet up off the ground, I can fly. So I bust out through the window and I floated down to where the ground was and I started running. Well, then I looked to my left. Overhaul was running on this side of me and Twice was on this side of me. And Overhaul wasn't saying anything. He was just like, his stare was just like, it was like he was like staring through you. It was like this as he was running. But he had his hands behind him. So it's basically like a Naruto run, okay? And Twice is like, he's like, we'll get you. No, wait. And I'm just, I'm still running. I'm like looking behind me. So then I get to the area where I saw when I first came in. And it basically looked like a rundown, like beat up building. But it looked completely different. And I didn't understand like what the heck's happening here. So I run past the building and inside of the stroller is Frodo sitting there. So I grab him and I run. So I'm pushing Frodo. I look behind me. We're like on the main street. There's regular people just walking around. So me and Frodo, I push him to the park. I go over and I look at Toshinori and Keigo, and they're talking, and I willed I will Frodo over to them, and I'm like, Frodo wanted to come to the park, and they're like, and Toshinori's like, did he tell you that? I'm like, no. He's like, okay. I honestly thought that it would be a great idea to lay low for a while. And I looked at the doctor. He's like, yeah, right. Now is not the time to be going out for a stroll or whatever with Frodo. And I'm like, they said there might be another something walking around here. So I'm like, okay, you know, me and Frodo will go home. So I take Frodo back to my house. I bathe him and feed him, and I'm just, I don't know, I'm extra clingy with this kid now. Like, he's like attached to me. I don't want to let him go. But I know that I have to leave soon. I'm just like, I'm holding him. And I just started crying because I didn't know what happened. I really don't know what happened back there. Frodo was with me when I went in that place, and he ended up outside. And the only thing I can think is it might have been like an illusion. Maybe someone was playing some kind of trick on me. So I held Frodo for as long as I could. Eventually my guide came and got me. And I ended up just, the entire day I was like, not really depressed, but kind of just like confused and worried about, do I really need to worry about this situation? Like, this is a big deal, and I don't want to tell Toshinori, and I definitely don't want to tell Keigo, because I know they will lose their shit, because I know for a fact they'll like rip me a new one, and I don't want to deal with that. And so like, I went back there again, and I was talking to Keigo, and I'm like, I told him, I said, when I start working at the school, I want to be in a separate wing from the children. And he said he thinks it's a little extreme. He thinks it's too much. He said that means that your detention class will be way across, you know, way across the field or whatever. We can build you a place over there. And I said, please do. So they're working on that right now. In that reality, basically it's going to be, you don't have to actually step foot outside. So the kids will be in the building. There'll be like a hallway that leads to the area I'm at. Basically, it's just a single hall, okay? When I say there's no building walls attached to it, you ever seen those skyscraper buildings that have like the glass where you go straight across? It's gonna be like that, except it won't. It'll be more like a tunnel. So basically like the tunnel of Doom. You walk into Doom's classroom, my classroom, detention. So it's kind of perfect in a way if you think of it like that and not as like something bad. But if something were to ever happen and there was a situation with me, I wouldn't want to get the kids involved. And the only way they would get involved is if they happen to be in my class. So that's another way of like, for me to like try and protect them. They don't have any idea what happened, and I don't plan on telling them. I went to Toshinori's house that night and I had dinner with him, and he told me he knows something isn't right, because he says I've been acting different ever since my time with Frodo at the park. And I was just like, I just told him like, I'm just scared because you told me not to, I was like, you told me not to be out in the open, and you're right, something could have happened to Frodo. It just scares me to think of that. And he was hugging me, and he's like, you're kind of shaking a little bit. And I'm like, I'm just a little bit nervous. And he's like, why? I'm like, you still make my heart race. And so then like we started making out, and he was like running his hands through my hair, and he's like, let's go to bed. And so like I went to bed with him. We were just like laying there cuddling, and after he like fell asleep, I got up and I kind of just did stuff around Toshinori's house. Then I left him like a love note there saying like, Toshinori, I love you so much, you're mine forever, and I'll never let you go, and you'll always be mine, and you're gonna say you're mine too. I'll make you say it so many times, as many times as I need to, until you believe it, and all this stuff. And just, you know, I did leave him a love note, but it was kind of like a dominant note. Like I was trying to like take over him, kind of like that. So I was like secretly laughing to myself the whole time, but I left there. And then if I'm being like 100% honest, I'm still kind of worried about Frodo, because I know what their intentions are. The thing is, I think they gave up on trying to kidnap him because he's so dangerous. Instead it's me, and it's like him, you know, overall asking me, you know, we need you to give birth to this kid and all this. And You know, he was trying to justify reasons why, you know, you know, it has to be your kid, it can't be his, the bird. He called it the bird. It can't be that guy's kid, the bird's kid, because it's just he doesn't have it. And I'm like, I don't have it either. And they were just like, we don't believe you. And I just, you know, you should totally believe me because I'm telling the truth. Like, I wouldn't lie about something like that. Maybe I should tell them where they can get one from. And then they can go there and they'll all get infected and like die or whatever. I don't know. I know this isn't the last time I'm gonna run across them, so I just don't know how to be prepared for next time. Because I feel like that really was an illusion that I got pulled into. And I don't know how I would tell if something like that's real or not. It was simply a building. Even the inside looked legit. Until I tried to escape from there. But yeah, I did want to tell you guys what happened. I told you it'd be a little bit traumatic. I don't know why I ended up under the bed and twice was sitting on a bed. I could have very well ended up like in bed with him completely naked or something, and I would have been freaking out because I probably would have been thinking like, what the hell did I do? I don't even remember. There's a lot of pieces I don't remember, but the only reason I know I didn't do what they wanted is because they were chasing me. So basically I didn't complete the goal that they wanted, so they basically were chasing me to still try and get me to do it. So that's probably like the only thing. I think this video was like super long, wasn't it? I feel like it was. I told you it was gonna be cringy too, didn't I? Yeah, I have a reason. I really am worried about Frodo. So tell me what you think I should do. Also, I'm gonna end the video here, but I am gonna try and, like I said, bring my Discord back from the dead. So I'll be letting you know what kind of events I'll be hosting, and I will do a practice run on Saturday. Also, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a like. If you hated it, then you know what to do. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available to you. Ding! I'm so sorry I coughed through the entire video. Oh God, I'm so tired. Like, I'm so tired. I don't know, like, I hope that my next video is like, it's not gonna be like this. Like, that cough just came out of nowhere. You see it didn't come back, right? Like, honestly, I don't know what the deal is there. I really don't. And I just gotta be like really careful next time. I don't know what I should do. Overall looked pretty evil. He didn't look like, his eyes was just like scary. Just weird and scary. I don't like it. I don't like them. I don't. I freaking hate them. I think next time I'll just, I don't know, be really clingy. Next time I'm gonna be really clingy with Toshinori. I'm just gonna like, just attach myself to his freaking body. I'm trying to think of ways I can like, I want to hear his beg again. I want to hear him beg me for something again. I need to hear that whiny voice from him that's, I want to hear that, like, he goes watching me and crying and begging on his knees. He never, like, screams in pain or anything, like, I think. If he ever does, I know it's not really him, so it's whatever. Oh, this was such a long video, guys. Yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. I'll let you know what happened when I went back there. Am I ever gonna tell these guys about what happened? Probably not, because it just doesn't make me comfortable. Like, I guess they probably need to know because of Frodo, but at the same time, if I'm not putting Frodo in a dangerous situation, that would never happen. And I'm so glad he can't talk and say, "Mommy took us to this building, to this abandoned building, and it was ugly," or something. I feel like the king will definitely kill me for putting his child's life in danger as my child do. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching me. Don't forget to check out my Discord Saturday or something. I'm gonna try and bring it back to life, but check it out Saturday because I'll definitely be doing something then. Alright, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you everybody for watching. Bye.